Interesting. Okay. Hey, can someone VOD review my recent Rialto game? Code is 8QV97F. I don't know why I read that out. I have been on a decent loss streak in the last couple of days. I dropped from 3348 to 3222. I main Reinhardt, but I've also been trying new characters like Sig, as you can see in the replay, but I don't know when to pick them. I'm pretty sure my biggest issues are wasting my shield, wasting my ult, I miss a Sig ult, and I often shatter shields, playing too slow or far up, and not knowing when to swap heroes. I want to hit Masters this season, so any advice would be appreciated. Alright, well. Cammy needs a mouse. Getting to Masters, as far as I know, as far as I have not done it, so don't count me on this, but as far as I've seen and helped other players get to Masters, it's 99% about efficiency. Alright? You can play almost any hero you want and get to Masters. You just need to make sure that every time you're using a cooldown, every time you're using an ult, every time you're moving from A to B, that you're doing it in the most efficient way possible. Everything else doesn't really matter that much because those things will, of course, inform the rest of your play. Let's take a look at this code. HQV97F.
Welcome to Rialto, ready for battle.
Hold on, we're gonna take a look what their name is. Did they even put it in here? Cammy needs a mouse. My recent Rialto game. I main Reinhardt. So they probably play Reinhardt here. That'd be Kamix? Oh, I hate when this happens. We're gonna make it. Yeah, I guess so. Cammy needs a mouse. Kamix. Okay, we're gonna make the big assumption here.
I can't wait to fight. Think you can keep up with me? Right beside you.
Let's fight!
Okay. So, first things first, let's take a look at our team composition. We have to understand our team composition at all point in times, especially in games above Platinum, because that's going to inform, of course, how we play the game. We do not have a Zarya. We have a Diva, so we cannot be fighting the good fight in the middle of the fight like a regular Reinhardt can. We have to be a little more calculated with what we're doing and maybe a little more timed. We also have a Doomfist and a Genji, which means that they're going to dive in when you set them up, or hopefully they're going to dive in when you set them up. Your job is going to be to pressure the enemy team into one spot. You're the kind of like sheepdog. You're herding the enemy team that is the sheep into one place so that your team is able to jump on them and kill them right away. Now, of course, if they have things like they do, like poke, or very Widowmaker, or snipers Widowmaker, which they have Hanzo Ana, you're just going to waste time, essentially the whole time, while trying to exploit the Sigma, who's going to be trying to pressure you the entire time. It's going to be fairly difficult. Now, this is where playing something like Dive would actually matter quite a bit, because Dive would be really, really easy to jump on top of their supports, on top of their DPS, and their tanks couldn't do much. But if we're playing Reinhardt, we're actually playing kind of uphill, because Reinhardt is very, very, very vulnerable to, well, getting shot at from a distance. Even though his shield's pretty awesome at it, he just has a really hard time getting close to the fight when the enemy team is shooting at him.
Five, 4, 3, 2, 1. Attackers incoming.
Now, I'm not too much of a fan of the position that you set yourself up in here, because you're not setting up for anybody else. Really, you want to be taking a look around, figuring out where your DPS are, and making sure that you're with them whenever the engage goes off, whenever you need to be in the fight. Because when you're standing right here, you're stuck on the low ground, and you're going to be shielding damage that's really meant for nobody. They're just going to push the cart, and yeah, we'll see how this turns out.
Get through this.
So I want to note one thing. You're standing in the front line trying to fight them, facing them down. You're always going to lose this playing Reinhardt. You're always going to lose this fight playing Reinhardt. You want to make sure that when you're Rein, you know what you're up against and you know what your strengths are. If they had another Reinhardt and they had a Roadhog, that would be totally fine because, well, you'd win having the D.Va, you'd eat up the extra damage, you'd be able to swing at them, you'd be able to push the front line, no problem, you'd be good to go, you'd win. But because you are up against Poke, if you just stand out in the open like you are, you're going to get shot down. Your teammates are eventually going to get flanked and they're eventually going to die. So we're going to rethink this. We're going to keep playing playing the game here. We're going to keep watching and seeing how this turns out. But we will come back and go, like, how could we reassess our Rein play? And I don't necessarily have the solutions for this because you actually are a better Reinhardt player than me. But we can at least theorize the different angles and different ways that we can approach it that don't necessarily end up with you dying in a stupid way. Okay. I did not expect that. Well, let's back up a little bit and actually take a look at the decisions that caused a play like that to fail. Okay. Your armor is like the most important resource you possibly have. And I know it seems really weird, because you do have a shield, but no, that armor, if your supports heal armor, it's actually more valuable. I thought, so let me rephrase that. It's more valuable for your supports to heal armor than it is for them to heal health. So as soon as you don't have your armor anymore, you're actually providing negative value to your team overall. You want to make sure that when you're going into a fight, that your supports are healing your armor. So we're antied. Of course, we're not going to get healing here. We're going to step out. Watch how you maintain health just underneath your armor level. Of course, you do get slept. I'm going to criticize the fact that you stepped out here. There was no reason for you to push out so far. And the biggest reason not to push out is that you didn't have armor. Maybe in some cases, if you were full health or the Ana didn't have her sleep already or whatever, you could step out and start to aggress them. But, like, there's going to be the micro that we could do to survive this kind of push, but I don't think that's really important here. I think the decision to push was not the best around right. Like, if you were going to push, that was the moment right here. Especially since their team is so close to the payload right here. Look at this. So if we pause this, you can look. You can actually go for that Zenyatta. Right? You have your healers right behind you. Your Ana's right behind you. Your team is really close. Everybody's fighting. Their DPS are off in a different direction. You could probably walk right through them right now, swinging and kill their supports. Maybe. Or at least threaten them. Like, you can hop up on this payload and start swinging at them. What are they going to do? Oh, a D.Va's going to shoot you. You're going to get rocked by the Sigma. Maybe you're going to get slept. You got an Ana right behind you. Right? Like, she's not going to let you down. Hopefully. Not going to let you down. And as long as you've done it with, like, the proper amount. And I'm making an extreme example, too. Like, obviously, if things are a little more dangerous, if you're up against better players, then you don't want to push all the way up to the payload. You just want to start to push out a little bit because you close that space. They're now in a space that's good for you as opposed to a space that's good for them. And you should be able to aggress and push them out of the spot. Standing here and taking these shots just means that you're going to have low resources for when you go in. This is what happens. Shield is low, you get antied, low health. And we don't take the corner with our shield out. So how do we play these next few rounds?
Routing tower to forward barrier.
Is that the best you can do?
Oh, your diva got it. You're gonna get messed up here doing this. This is not the Reinhardt play. We are going to go and rethink our Rein play here in just a moment. Because right now you are a liability as a Reinhardt. Your team is putting so much to keep you up, and it's not really doing anything.
My sons never die.
There is no obligation for the universe to make sense to you. Activating the barrier.
The payload has reached the checkpoint.
You go Sigma to match the Sigma, that's fine.
Out of existence. Barrier won't hold together.
Routing tower to forward shield.
Back to me.
What was that? That was weird.
Barrier in place.
Time to meet my
Universe is omnipotent.
I'm really not liking, just in the Sigma play, I'll just point this out. I hate these like pre or like almost mid-fight yeet rocks. You can do a rock really, really, really early because then you'll have the rock for the fight. But when the enemy's up in your face, you don't just want to be throwing it out like that because it's your survival mechanism. It's something that you use to get out of situations, or it's something that you use to stop the enemy from making a play on you. It's something you use to stop them from like even if the Sigma ults, but I know no, he just used it. Yeah, of course. But if the, I don't know, McCree ults, potentially that could be something that could be used to stop him from killing your whole team. So without like your positioning's okay, but I think this is like a Reinhardt concept that people are too used to, just like throwing fire strikes out. The rock is not like a fire strike, it's more like a flashbang. It's literally more like a McCree flashbang.
Enemy contact.
I'm not liking these random shifts either.
Barrier in place.
Little rough.
Rocket barrage incoming.
Barrier destroyed.
So, just to bring this back a small bit, I want to point this out. As they push forward, okay. Where is it? Where's that moment?
Barrier in place.
That diva is kind of what you're saving the rock for in this case. Because she's going to be up in your face, and potentially your team can burn her down. There's going to be other people, obviously, like the High Noon, that you want to keep an eye out for. But it's not your priority. So when she pushes up on you like this, and you have your rock, you kind of probably should be using it.
Help me. Rocket barrage incoming.
Because now you're on your back foot when you use it, right? It's like, oh no, I've already been hit and I'm already whatever, right? Just be very careful of that.
Barrier is destroyed.
Timing that rock matters a lot. Okay. You have better ult eco than me, maybe. Maybe.
60 seconds remaining.
Observe the barrier.
I
Universum singt for me.
might have done it earlier to keep momentum. Like the big thing with waiting right now is, especially you can see top right. There's you can't see top right because my thing is covering it. There's Zenyatta's at 98% on his ultimate. So all this time we've kind of waited and we've set ourselves up like for a big Sigma ult, when really we probably, and I'll pull this back just a little bit, we win by ulting right here. Okay, we win the next fight by ulting right here. Waiting for it like we are at this moment, we win by ulting right here because it staggers them immediately.
Observe the barrier. Universum singt for me.
And yeah, we don't even use it on anything. That's right, we missed it. And you missed it because like Sigma's ult is not like a Graviton or an Earth Shatter, right? You can use it. Well, actually it is kind of like you can use it to stagger 2 or 3 people if you want, right? And then as long as they're not together, like as long as the team isn't together, you win the next fight every time.
Time to raise my ATM.
Feeling sleepy?
Why didn't you shoot? One sec, let me take another look.
Observe the barrier. Universum singt for me.
My ATM.
I don't know what the suck is for. Reasonable rock. Get the shield out now. Get the shield out. Get the shield out. Get the shield out. Get the shield out. That Ana needs it.
Seconds remaining.
We're getting sig dipped a little bit at this point.
Stardust to stardust.
Just a little bit. Hydro, thank you so much for the subs, dude. I appreciate it. Thank you, thank you. And just so everybody knows, I'm doing a recording here. We're gonna put this up on YouTube. Hydro, I do want to thank you again. Like, I never did anything on Twitch. We've done everything basically through a small community and whatnot. And so recently, we've been reaching out a lot more, running things on Twitch, putting things up on YouTube, doing the whole, I guess, online presence stuff. And Hydro has been an incredible support for the past while. Oh my God, like, dude, thank you so much. I'm definitely not regretting coming into streaming and doing all that kind of stuff. My community's always supported me in small ways before, like say, we do things with Patreon and whatnot. Yeah, anyways, dude, thank you. I always appreciate it. And go follow Hydro Zone. I'm gonna give him a shout out quickly in chat, just because I know he doesn't really stream and whatnot, but we're gonna do it anyways. And oh my God, dude. All right. Crazy, dude. Thank you. Okay. The Sigma's actually hurting me a little bit right here.
Never die.
Its destination.
Rocket barrage incoming.
I think he's got like Reinhardt syndrome going on, where we're playing Sigma very much like we're playing, or like we play Reinhardt. Where it's like, stand in front of the enemy team.
Score.
When you see them aggress on you, throw your abilities at them,
Switching sides.
push back really hard, and fight to the death. And that's not really what Sigma is. If we think about it in reverse, if we take what we just originally talked about with Reinhardt defending against their poke, their job is literally just to wear the Reinhardt down. Their job is just to make sure that Reinhardt has no shield, has no armor, has no health, has no resources. Reinhardt throws a fire strike at them from far away. Well, it's a fire strike thrown from far away. They step away from the step to the side, and you know, it doesn't do anything. Like, a long range fire strike is the most useless fucking thing ever. So if we're playing Sigma in reverse, that's our job. It doesn't matter what tank we're up against. We're gonna wear them down. We're gonna cause them to just like use all their resources and just be, you know, lost in the long fight. Brawl actually does really, really well in long fights, in some against some team compositions, but you're always going to, especially when you're playing poke, you're always gonna be better off by like drawing the fight out, because the longer time you have, the more time you have to be able to get kills. That's simple as that. The more time you're able to kind of like set yourself up for certain fights. Like, Brawl is going to go in and cause the most chaos they possibly can, which is what Reinhardt is. You want to cause the most chaos you possibly can. And if you're up against something like Dive, then you want to make it last kind of as long as possible. There's actually some complexities in that. But we don't want to fight like that. So actually, I'm trying to transition into how we play like Reinhardt right now up against a poke composition, and I don't think I'm doing a very good job at it, but we're still going to roll with this anyways. Let's theorize how we're going to play up against long-range characters as Rein. Well, we're going to need to take a lot of different back routes. We're going to need to take flank routes. We're going to need to take areas where we have lots of cover. We cannot be like the thing that takes all the damage at the end of the day. We like in this type of composition, we can't do that. We have to be the initiator. So if you look at something, well, now we look at your team composition, you are running a Mei and a Widow. Your job is to get that Mei and the Widow into the fight. And when they're, well, actually, sorry, let's get the Mei into the fight and then cause enough or give the Widowmaker enough time to be able to shoot into the fight when you're fighting, right? There's never going to be a time in this composition where we're going to stand there and just have our shield up, because the Mei, like, who's going to be shooting at the enemy shield? The Mei, maybe, you know, Lucio. He's not going to be behind your shield. Like, we have to always think, who's behind our shield? What are we shielding? Let's go take a look and see what this player is doing and how they're playing.
Oh, come on, Anna. I bet you got all sorts of trouble when you were my age.
Oh, enough waiting around. Let's get out there.
Hello. Hello.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Attackers incoming.
Get behind.
Escort the payload.
I hate this. We're going back. Okay, so we had a really good engage at the start. I'll pull this back and to point out how this player like did a really good job at pushing up. But when we got there, we just didn't know what to do. Okay.
Escort the payload.
You know the enemy team has kind of pokey heroes. Right now they have a Tracer. We don't know that. But whatever. They have a Sigma. They have a Hanzo. They have a Ana. They have a Zenyatta. Right? So what we're doing is we're going to tuck ourselves right into this corner, because it's really hard for them to shoot at you without exposing themselves around the corner. The only person who's going to be able to do it is the Sigma. The only person really who's going to be able to do it is the Sigma. And maybe D.Va can like stand out here, but she's not going to be able to do anything. So we have this really nice tight engagement on the side, and we move up really quickly.
Forward barrier.
Now, the purpose of getting to this corner is so that your diva can go jump the high ground, which is what she does. But when she does this, you have to be moving on to the next spot already. You have to be moving, because as soon as you back up and you stand there, you're going to have a hard time. Notice how we're just taking damage right now. One sec, we'll speed it up just a little bit. Notice how we're just standing here, taking damage, doing this like really wobbly path back and forth, back and forth. No! No! Either push right up to that damn corner again and start chaos, which is actually really sketchy. I wouldn't do that, probably. Or hold your shield out, go, guys, we're going to cross, and then get your team over to this door while somebody pushes. And then you can put your shield out again and have your Mei cross around here. And now you have your Mei or your Widowmaker or somebody up in the back, up in the top, and you win. You win every fight. It's just like... But instead, we're hitting them where they're... It's Zap Brannigan. We'll hit them where they're strongest.
Is that the best you can do?
Oop, oop. Like, notice how we're just standing here again? Oh, where is it? F6. And our shield is going to break. We're getting punished for it. Diva gets impatient, decides to make a play, gets punished for it. And then we all get... Like, by the time you're fighting... I gotta turn this music down. By the time you're fighting... You're low in resources. One sec, where is that? Where is this playing? Here it is. Okay. Let's back it up. So by the time you go in, you have half your shields, and you've already taken damage. And our shields are almost broken again when we stepped out like that. So we're stuck. Our playstyle is Reinhardt v Reinhardt, where you want to walk right up to the Reinhardt and just fight them. But this requires a very team comp specific engage. And they're gonna reset on you. So you notice how they're out in the open? As soon as you start pushing, you're gonna have a real tough time here. You're just gonna get shot at. No, they're not really taking advantage of it too much on this hallway, but you're still gonna get shot at. They're just backing up. They're just backing up. That's all they're doing. They just back up and back up and back, and you'll never get to them. You have all this space, but you get no value from it. And now, imagine if you guys were up here. Right? Or your Mei was up here or something. Or you guys were... So you'd actually have a significantly stronger engage. This is really scary. Yeah. And as soon as you give them space again, they just shoot you and you die.
Not give up the fight.
We gotta watch this game to the end. I'm pretty sure it's the same thing over and over again. Long path, straight walk. Ooh, oh. Wait, what? Hold on. That fire strike went right by him. Unfortunate. Lucky, nothing but a lucky diva bomb there.
How about a little
Understood. Understood.
What you need to do right now, actually shatter, but also decrease this distance between you and them. Oh! Oh, you got punished for that. Oh my god, that was scary.
My servants never die. Rocket barrage incoming.
Double kill.
I don't know if you guys can hear that. Listen really closely to the dragon when I speed it up and slow it down.
Double
Okay, anyways. This is so rough. I think we're gonna call this VOD right here because I think that this is all we need to really get to this player. Like, look, so if we're gonna push up, why not hold a tight corner like this? There's gonna be we won't go over it right now. We can go over it later if you end up joining us on something. But there's like a thing I like to call and referred to as like long corners, right? Long corners and short corners. Long corner and short corner advantage. Well, if you have the long corner on an enemy, then you have the advantage. Meaning, if you're further away from the corner than the enemy is, you have the advantage. The exacts of it, again, we're not going to go into the details of it, but when you're stepping out into a space like this, you no longer have the corner anymore. The corner is no longer a part of your, like, you no longer have the advantage. So while you would have the long corner advantage here, standing out here, you don't, because you're going to get shot from every frickin' angle. There's no protection anymore for being there. And you can see how you just have to fall back. You're just taking all of that damage front on. If you were off to the side, right here, the enemy team now has to deal with, when they step out, they got to go, ooh, I got to deal with a Reinhardt right here, but I could be shooting this way, but I could be shooting, well, there's all these kind of things you have to deal with. And then if you have to pull back to your team, you can pull back across here. You hold this corner right here as a Reinhardt, or this spot right here, and you're like chunking out your space as you go forward, because you're never going to win in these long range battles.
Get through this. Routing towards forward barrier.
Yeah, well, here, this is why Lucio is so important when playing Reinhardt. Like, if you can get a Lucio on your team and you're a really good Reinhardt, fuck, you win every fight. Because you have so much area control, you can take over any corner in any spot, and you move so fast through the open areas that you don't take any damage. Or the damage you take is negligible. But right here, I think the biggest weakness is just walking straight into a poke composition, where they're going to mess you up. All right.